Hello, welcome to this Crypto Professor introduction to Dogecoin. Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency that has taken the media by storm recently, helped by Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla and SpaceX, who has been promoting Dogecoin himself. He even once referred to himself as the CEO of Dogecoin, which is a little bit misleading as Dogecoin has no CEO. But basically, he has been on Twitter promoting Dogecoin. We don't quite understand why or how, but he has been a favorite of Dogecoin for quite some time, and this has taken off in 2021. This video is going to introduce you to what Dogecoin actually is, how it works, and what I think of it in the long term. My estimations are that I'm not particularly optimistic about Dogecoin myself. I will be honest, I've never actually owned any Dogecoin, and I don't intend to own any Dogecoin, partly because I believe its use case is actually adopted by other cryptocurrencies better. However, I'm not going to be all doom and gloom and negative in this video. I am actually going to pick out a number of positive key points. For example, the adoption of Dogecoin has actually helped other cryptocurrencies because people have understood how cryptocurrencies work by owning Dogecoin, because it was, or used to be, quite an inexpensive token to amass, and that has recently changed obviously with the price increase. I'm also going to do a little bit of technical analysis towards the end. If you do hold a significant amount of Dogecoin, you might be interested in looking at that to see whereupon we're going and how to protect your investment if things go south. One of the risks, obviously, of this, of course, is that when the price increases due to shilling or media activity or excitement, euphoria, there is usually a corresponding sell-off when people forget about the cryptocurrency or they move on to other projects, for example. Okay, both Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and most cryptocurrencies at the moment are going through a kind of euphoric stage where they are exceeding their all-time highs multiple times, and that is usually the territory where you go, well, hang on a second, do I want to be in this when it's no longer hitting its all-time highs? And therefore it's time to kind of coalesce and think about your options regarding cryptocurrency. Dogecoin is definitely within that category, and I'm going to explain a little bit later why I think so from a fundamental basis and also a technical analysis perspective. But let's actually start with what Dogecoin actually is. This is the web page of Dogecoin. It's very straightforward. This is one thing I really like about the cryptocurrency, is that it is doesn't really take itself seriously, okay? And it's the idea behind it is that cryptocurrency can be fun, okay? It's actually one of the funnest cryptocurrencies that there are, okay, and the most light-hearted, basically, okay. So you can download their wallet, basically store it offline. It's very easy to explain, very centered, and generally it's very easy to pick up. There's no kind of moving graphics or anything. There's no kind of white paper, so to speak. It's very user centric, okay. So for someone who's never invested in cryptocurrency before, if they're going to choose one, you might pick up Dogecoin because it feels like it's safe, and they've got the dog logo obviously, and it is a joke cryptocurrency. It has been described as a joke cryptocurrency, but there is an element of seriousness behind the joking. It's not like you're being scammed or anything along those lines. But yeah, it does actually introduce what cryptocurrency is and how it works to a new user very well. And if I go to the actual wallet itself, that I'm currently downloading the entire blockchain of 7 years and 8 weeks, which is going to take forever. I've been downloading this now for around about an hour or so already, so it's going to take a very long time. You can see that this entire wallet is written in Comic Sans, for example, which is entertaining. So you got things like much receive and transactions and such send, and then all the different things, much receiving addresses and such sending addresses. This entire language, use of language, seems to be permanent with Dogecoin, and is based entirely around the meme around Dogecoin, basically. So there's this use of English, which seems to be perhaps attractive from an international perspective. I don't know, but there's a use of language within the Dogecoin ecosystem which makes it stand out and makes it very memeable. Basically, this is the most memeable cryptocurrency probably in existence at the moment. That has good and bad points, as I say. The good points are that it's easy to identify, it's easy to follow, it's easy to understand, and traction is probably quite high, as we've seen recently with Dogecoin, with the markets as they are. On the other hand, it's not this seriousness that I would usually want from a cryptocurrency project, but then again, I tend to be a little bit too serious from time to time. I want my cryptocurrency projects to feel like genuine assets and companies, and Dogecoin for me just feels a little bit superficial, feels a little bit of a joke, but then some people enjoy that. So let's get on to what actually Dogecoin is. Okay, so Dogecoin has been around since 2013. 6th of December 2013, so it is actually one of the oldest cryptocurrencies. It's older than Ethereum, for example, and is a fork of Litecoin. Okay, it has a 1 minute block time as opposed to Litecoin's 2.5 minutes. Introduced by Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer, who were programmers, IBM software engineer and an Adobe software engineer, who they set out to form a peer-to-peer currency that could reach a wider audience or a wider use case than Bitcoin did at the time. And yeah, Bitcoin, how does he have? Because of its mining capabilities and because of its difficulty, hash rate, etc. It had some quite highly complicated concepts for people to understand, which is why the adoption perhaps wasn't as fast as other cryptocurrencies. So they created this as kind of a joke, and it was very quickly adopted by the market and rapidly gained value. Okay, so the coin has had a lot of volatility over the time. Its circulating supply is huge and will increase by 5 billion a year. To put that in perspective, it is increasing at 14,400,000 new Dogecoin per day, so every 24 hours. That means effectively that the price is going to not increase very quickly because the amount of inflation within the cryptocurrency is extremely high. For example, it took Bitcoin 5.5 years to create the same amount of tokens that Dogecoin creates every single 24 hours. Okay, so you've got a real kind of trade-off there. The developers of Dogecoin aren't particularly concerned. Their viewpoint is that this is a utility token and it's designed to be utilized as opposed to, held and invested in. And they want to keep the inflation rate as low as possible. And the way to do that is to keep on releasing 10,000 new Dogecoin for every block. So every 10 minutes, 10,000 new Dogecoin are mined. We've obviously had a lot of volatility recently, and it did climb 800% in 24 hours as a result of the Reddit situation started by Elon Musk, GameStop, etc. There's a lot of mentality in the markets at the moment of retail traders coming and beating Wall Street hedge funds. And Dogecoin has been caught up in that, along with Bitcoin now, basically. But obviously Dogecoin has a lot less to risk because it was theoretically only cents, or even less than a cent when this movement kicked off. Now that does have its dangers, okay, because as soon as the excitement leaves the market, the price is likely to collapse. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of TA towards the end of this video on what I think is going to happen over the course of the next couple of weeks with Dogecoin, depending essentially on what Elon Musk does with his Twitter feed. Okay, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that later. So what are my feelings about Dogecoin? Yes, it's got some really good things about it. Okay, it's got some really nice things like its charitable status. So since it was set up, since it was established, they have run various campaigns to assist charities using cryptocurrency, which is fantastic, okay? And in terms of bringing the culture of cryptocurrencies into the fore, excellent, fantastic. They're one of the few cryptocurrencies that actually do outreach, basically, like this. And you can see here a branded sports car, where Dogecoin has definitely got the meme, it's got the public consciousness behind it. It's a little unfortunate, again, I say that the public consciousness is on the joke side of things, potentially, but then a coin rising 800% in 24 hours, not many people will take that as a joke, and people look back and think, nah, if only I had some, it would have been fantastic, trading in hindsight, as people do. Now, they're usually used on sites like Reddit and Twitch as a tipping service, kind of similar to basic attention token. That's the kind of point that I want to raise here, is that there are other cryptocurrencies that don't have necessarily the volatility or the extreme risk of a sudden sell-off or the inflation situation that Dogecoin has, like basic attention token, like Ripple for instantaneous transfers. So the use case is kind of being eclipsed by other cryptocurrencies with a much more serious tone that perhaps people will get introduced to via Dogecoin. So perhaps Dogecoin could facilitate that exploration, because once you've downloaded the wallet and you're using it and you know how it works and you can send cryptocurrency to another person and pay for something or tip someone using it, you're going to be a lot more inclined to go and look at other cryptocurrencies perhaps that necessarily don't have the massive amount of cryptocurrency being released on a regular basis. Just to put a little bit of perspective on that, the last time that the Dogecoin core software was actually updated was the 8th of November 2019. So we are, almost 1.5 years from the last update. Usually most cryptocurrency projects have an update released maybe 6 months or so. Some even more frequent, some less so. But the amount of development looks to me, and certainly on CoinGecko, there is an explanation that perhaps the amount of development behind Dogecoin is slightly slipping, even though Elon Musk now claims to be their CEO. And you can also see the joke permeates even through GitHub. License, much license. OMG developers. Very much frequently asked questions. Okay, so if you enjoy that kind of thing, personally, I'm a little bit. It's entertaining, I suppose, but it's not really for me. Then that really does kind of permeate it does have a personal brand, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. And the personal brand is light-hearted, fun, not necessarily taking itself too seriously. Okay. So let's look at the actual metrics themselves. We're at almost 8 cents at the time of recording. The market cap is $10 billion, $10.2 billion. The 24-hour trading volume is 12.2. So there's an extra $2 billion in the market capitalization being traded. So this is a very, very highly traded cryptocurrency, which you probably would expect for what's going on in the markets at the moment. Currently ranked 10th in the world, which is amazing for this type of project. And a circulating supply of 128 billion at the moment. And that obviously will increase over time. So let's look a little bit at this price spike. So yeah, all the way through till the beginning of this year, there was hardly any movement at all. And then suddenly we got a huge spike here, and now we're breaking up higher here. Okay, so theoretically, you could say this if you wanted to say an alleyway wave. You could say wave 1, wave 2. We're in the middle of wave 3 at the moment. So if we were to use that perspective, we could say that there's actually more upside potential to this, purely from an Elliott wave perspective. But we'll look at again that at the TA in a second. Okay. Very well highly traded on different exchanges, no problem there. There's a little bit of an issue with transactions at the moment. Large transactions are leaving the market, perhaps people selling out as they have realized their profits. Quite a substantial profit as well. If we actually go back over the last 70 days, we have done 704%. And if you've owned Dogecoin for over a year, you're up almost 2,800%. So people are going to be leaving in droves, theoretically, if they have a large stash of Dogecoin. Here's the sentence. The developers of Dogecoin haven't made any major changes to the coin since 2015. Okay, so that's the actual coin itself. Now, necessarily you don't need changes to the coin. It has been designed as a fast transaction network, and it's not particularly used that heavily. It's more used for trading, I would say, than actually its use case of tipping and that kind of thing. So there's not been that demand, perhaps, of something like Ethereum, where it needs to be constantly updated in order to keep the mechanisms working sensibly. And obviously, second level development of Lightning systems, etc., and Ethereum 2.0, etc. That requires, because the amount of activity going on in the Ethereum network, that's why those updates are necessary. With Dogecoin, perhaps it's not so vital to have that going on in the background, but yeah, that's usually a negative sign if the developers have kind of stepped back from the project and kind of left it. Even though it is open source, that project might start to falter a little bit. So basically what I'm trying to say is Elon Musk is effectively the only reason why this coin has climbed as quickly as it has when it has. Okay, and when things climb for news reasons as opposed to actually fundamental reasons, you have to be extremely careful how much you risk on that media, because basically the news could change very, very quickly. Okay, so let's look at that for a second. So that actually matches the perspective of the market. So we have nothing, 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 and then suddenly a spike, and that actually matches the Google Trends document here. Okay, so we have nothing, 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 and suddenly on the 1st of January, towards the end of the year, we had a spike, and then suddenly out of nowhere a massive climb. Okay, now You could argue that correlation doesn't equal causation, and therefore it could be the fact that the price increased and therefore the interest came. But I'm arguing it's the other way around. I think the interest came and then the price spike happened. Okay, and if we look at this actually, January 24th. Okay, I'm just going to do a little experiment here to see whether that's any right at all. Yeah, look, fantastic. So the price spike actually happened on the 29th of January, but the interest happened around 4 or 5 days beforehand. Okay, so we actually had the price spike, the interest, around about 4 or 5 days beforehand, and then the price spike followed. Okay, so be wary of correlation and causation, but at the moment I think it's justified to correlate those two. So where are we now? So Dogecoin is currently worth $10.2 billion. Now that's a hell of a lot of money. Okay, in actual fact, it's larger than 59 of the companies in the S&P 500 right now. Okay, companies like American Airlines, for example, here and have a valuation of 9.63 billion. Okay, it's larger than energy, and I'm trying to pick out other companies that I can recognize here. Norwegian Cruise Line, okay, with a total market capitalization of 8.03 billion. Obviously, these companies, American Airlines and Norwegian, have had a very tough year with coronavirus, etc. So they're nowhere near as strong as they normally would be. But the point is that 59 of these companies are actually now worth less than the entire market cap of Dogecoin, okay, which is something amazing. In terms of cryptocurrencies, where are we? Okay, so the entire market cap is effectively the same as Chainlink. Okay, so Chainlink, I noticed the price is correspondingly a lot higher. Okay, so we're actually larger now, obviously, than all of these tokens behind us. And I'm going to be arguing a little bit later as to what's going to happen when the market cap increases, and we should see another influx of capital, theoretically, if we are to see another high, which takes us to our next profit target before we actually have a eventual collapse. And I am forecasting a potential collapse for Dogecoin. I don't think it's going to be substantiated. I may be proved wrong. You know, this is only my guess and my hypothesis at the moment. But I think that this is going to be a large spike and then a subdued activity for at least a while. I do think Dogecoin will be around for a while. I just don't think it's going to be particularly long term in terms of a profitably driven token. I think the exterior and the hype is effectively going to peter out at some point in the future as people switch to other cryptocurrency projects with perhaps a more fundamental backing. But that's just my opinion. Okay. So this is effectively why the price has increased so much. There were rumors that Elon Musk was going to have a Super Bowl commercial. In fact, I watched it. It did actually air in the end, partly because it costs a lot of money to run a Super Bowl commercial. But there were all sorts of things hanging around the air about Elon Musk. In actual fact, Elon Musk's Twitter has a instruction video for Dogecoin. Okay, so he's really on the Dogecoin side of things. He changed his Twitter feed, Twitter kind of subtitle to Bitcoin recently, and Bitcoin had a corresponding price movement. They've just announced that they've bought 1.5, Tesla that is, have just announced they've bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin in January in their filings. And today, in fact, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of almost $45,000 as a result. So effectively, we've got a lot of mania in the markets at the moment, okay, as people are becoming very, very much aware of cryptocurrencies and buying it because they have theoretically surplus capital, because of coronavirus, because of stimulus, because of money printing, effectively. And that is helping people gang together and attack large financial institutions, hedge funds, for example, with short sells like we saw with GameStop. And it's also promoting cryptocurrencies because obviously cryptocurrencies by design are an attempt to get rid of, or at least escape from, the systematic devaluation of currencies in terms of hyperinflation. Okay, and this year has been absolutely insane for money printing. Okay, 30%, 35% of all dollars in circulation right now were printed in 2020. Okay, same story, similar story with the Great British Pound. Okay, most currencies on earth are now being printed and printed and printed and printed, and there is no way around that other than to switch to a cryptocurrency. And yes, I think most cryptocurrencies, because of Bitcoin's rise and because of the general market sentiment, because of the adoption, will actually increase, and that includes Dogecoin. Okay, so let's look at the technicals right now. Where do I think it's going to go? So we may have a correction down to between 5 cents or 5.5 cents to 3.5 cents. Okay, that would be a standard classic correction. Okay, quite when that happens, I'm not sure. I'm watching this, as I said earlier. This might be a 1, 2. We may be in the middle of a 3 now, or we may have topped 3 here for 5. We may actually be at top of a 5 now, and then we'll do a descent. Okay, and if you're following Elliott Wave, that's the pattern we could see. Obviously, Elliott Wave is highly subjective, so we might actually see it follow through here and continue on further. Where would I take profits if we do have another breakout? If Elon says you can buy a car or Tesla with Dogecoin, I would be taking profits somewhere in the region of 13 cents. Okay, we may have a slight pause towards 10 cents. Okay, but between 10 and 13 cents is where we're taking profits if you haven't already. Look at this strength. Okay, 75 on the ADX, and we've got room to maneuver, although we have got divergence on the RSI. Okay, so there's a little bit of a warning sign there on day charts that we are diverging. We've done a higher high, but the RSI hasn't followed through. Okay, so just be a little bit cautious of that. And if I zoom in a little bit further in terms of time, this is a 1 hour chart. We can see 2 trend lines here. Very nice fanning out of all the averages. So that's usually a general good sign of a bullish momentum coming through. But once again, look at the MACD. So we've got divergence. So we've got this price. Yes, they are kind of descending slightly, but we're nowhere near selling off as much as the MACD would have us believe. And we are kind of, even though we almost did a second tap of this peak here, we actually were a lot further down in terms of MACD. So on the hour chart, on the short-term time frame, we're getting a slow warning that the momentum may be out of the market and it might start to break. Personally, I'll be watching this trend line here on an hour chart, and then on a larger time frame, perhaps 4 hours, watching this trend line here, which theoretically goes back all the way to almost the beginning. If I can fudge that there, let's have a look. Let's look at that one there. Okay, so yeah, I mean that one there goes back a lot further. Okay, and that is the one I was looking. Funny enough, it actually lines up with a 200-day moving average, or 200-hour moving average. Let's look now at a larger time frame. You can see the scope of that massive movement in terms of a day chart. So yeah, if we break this, we will then test this trend line here, which will be the ultimate kind of point to where we go, okay, maybe this is actually going to start collapsing, and then we will come down here and test the 21-day and the 35-day. Okay, so those are 2 points that I would look for. But remember, this is a massive movement. I mean, we theoretically have only been going for about 10 days or so, okay, in this movement. Okay, so we may continue on higher. Okay, we may sell off and come down and retest and then have another shot, but effectively this movement here is probably unsubstantiated by long-term holders. It's probably those people who were trading, this kind of thing, and they're taking profits and maybe siphoning it off into other things like GameStop, for example, and they're not particularly concerned with holding Dogecoin for a while. If you don't own any Dogecoin, there are other cryptocurrencies worth similar or less than this that have much better opportunities. So I wouldn't necessarily FOMO, or fear of missing out, into Dogecoin at the moment. Just watch it from a distance and kind of look at the market with interest. But if you don't own any Dogecoin, now is not the time to buy. Okay, maybe if we have a corresponding sell-off to these aforementioned levels, if you really want to take it, you can. Okay, but be cautious, because theoretically we could have a complete correction down here where we start to go back. Okay. And no amount of shilling theoretically from Elon Musk will stop people if they decide that they don't want Dogecoin anymore, and there are other better opportunities out there. I noticed that Bitcoin today has also started to get back its positive image, its bullish image, and the fear, uncertainty, and doubt has disappeared for a while. Okay, great. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. That is the introduction to Dogecoin. If there's a coin that you'd like me to look at, please let me know in the comments. If you'd like me to look at your project or any particular cryptocurrency project in general that you're investing in, I will. Please leave a comment or a suggestion in the comments below. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you're trading Dogecoin, please keep an update on this channel. Subscribe to the channel because I will be posting an update in due course, depending on the movements over the next couple of weeks. But otherwise, as usual, happy trading. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to get $25 of CRO completely for free, please sign up to crypto.com using our referral link in the description on this video. We also get $25 of CRO to keep this channel operating. The Crypto Professor likes feedback. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it. If you'd like more of the same, please don't forget to subscribe. Or if you have questions, please post them in the comments and I'll endeavour to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.